Welcome students to this class on the different characteristics and physical features of the United States of America and Canada. First of all, we shall address the major mountain ranges, including the Appalachian Mountains, the Rocky Mountains, Brooks Range, and the Pacific Mountain Ranges. Let's talk about the Appalachians first. The Appalachian Mountains are located in the eastern half of North America. They run from the Canadian island Newfoundland to central Alabama in the United States. The range is about 1,500 miles long, and takes up a total area of 730,000 miles squared. Its highest point is Mount Mitchell at 6,684 feet. Next, let us talk about the Rocky Mountains. The Rocky Mountains stretch about 3,000 miles from British Columbia and Alberta in Canada, down to New Mexico in the United States. These mountains create a wet zone and a dry zone in the western part of the United States, due to the rain-shadow effect. The tallest peak in the Rocky Mountains is Mount Elbert, which is 14,440 feet high. The third major mountain range is Brooks Range, which is located in northern Alaska. This range is about 600 miles long, stretching from the eastern half of Alaska to the western part. This range also extends partly into Yukon, a Canadian province. The highest point is Mount Isto, at 8,976 feet. Some people consider this mountain range an extension of the Rocky Mountains. The Pacific Mountain Ranges, located toward the western coast, are a collection of many smaller mountain ranges, including the Sierra Nevadas, Cascade Range, California Coast Ranges, and many others. The range stretches for about 4,500 miles and another 1,000 miles in Canada. Next we will talk about the major land regions. The first one we shall discuss is the Canadian Shield. The Canadian Shield encompasses the Hudson Bay in Canada, and extends down to northeastern United States. It is a region of exposed rock that makes vegetation and life rare. This shield stretches north from the Great Lakes to the Arctic Ocean, covering almost half of the entirety of Canada. This landform reduces industry and human population, but provides a great resource for mining. This is the Earth's greatest region of exposed rock, at 8 million kilometers squared. The second land region is the Piedmont, which is a plateau in the eastern United States, stretching from New York in the north to the middle of Alabama in the south. In Latin, Piedmont translates to foothills. This plateau is basically relatively small rolling hills. Thirdly, we have the interior plains, which is a very large stretch of land that stretches from British Columbia to Ontario in western Canada, and from the Appalachian Mountains to the Rocky Mountains in central United States. The plain is mainly flat, but has small hills, and some mountains. This region's temperature varies, as it is spread across such a large area. This area is good for farming and ranching, and largely depends on it for economy. The last major land range we will be covering is the Atlantic Coastal Plains. These plains are located in the eastern U.S. These plains are dramatically flatter than the interior plains. The border of the Atlantic Coastal Plains is the interior plains on the west and the Atlantic Ocean on the east. This region is used primarily for agriculture. Next we will talk about climate zones in the U.S. and Canada. The first one we will be covering is the Arctic Climate Zone. This zone is located only in the far north of Canada. It is very cold, has permafrost, little vegetation, extremely long winters and cold summers, and is fairly dry. A second climate zone is the Marine West Coast Climate Zone. As its name implies, this climate is found in the west coast of the U.S. This climate has mild winters, mild summers, and has high humidity. Another type of climate zone is the Continental Climate Zone. This zone is located mainly in northeastern United States. It has hot summers, cold winters, and is fairly moist. The final major climate zone is the Tropical Climate Zone. This climate is found in only two places, southern Florida and Hawaii. This climate is hot, humid, and wet. There is a lot of vegetation in these areas. Now we will talk about some other interesting land features in the United States and Canada. First of all, Let's talk about the San Andreas Fault in California. This location is where the North American and Pacific tectonic plates are colliding, which forms a cool-looking chasm kind of thing. This is a place with a high earthquake risk. Another interesting feature is the Mississippi River. This river is 2,340 miles long. It starts in Lake Itasca in northern Minnesota, and ends in the Mississippi River Delta near the Gulf of Mexico. It is the second longest river in North America. Another feature we will discuss now is Death Valley, which is also in California. This desert is one of the hottest places in the world, recording temperatures of over 130 degrees. This land region gets so hot because of the fact that it is low. When the air is heated, it rises up along the valley walls, gets cooled down, then falls back to the ground to be heated to an even hotter temperature. This valley is the hottest place in the United States. Our last topic for today will be the Yellowstone Supervolcano. This volcano is 34 miles by 45 miles wide. It is located in Yellowstone National Park, in Wyoming. If it were to explode, it could expel ash over thousands of miles across the U.S., block out the sun, and damage buildings for hundreds of miles. Well class, I hope you learned something today. Sadly Dave was busy doing this assignment, so he couldn't teach. Peace out.